Picture this, you're living your best life in a thriving, sun-soaked city. Everything seems perfect. Life is bustling, you're laughing with friends, and there's always something to do. Pompeii, a city of luxury, prosperity, and joy, until one day, it all comes crashing down. The city you know and love is suddenly buried in ash, consumed by fire, and lost to time. So, what went wrong? Why did it suck to live in Pompeii on the worst day in history? And, how did these everyday people face the unimaginable? Today, we're going to find out, but before we dive into Pompeii's darkest day, I've got a quick favor to ask. If you're fascinated by history's greatest catastrophes and want to learn more about the ancient world, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. And if you've ever wondered what it would be like to live through a disaster like this, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. 1. The calm before the storm. Let's start by stepping into the shoes of a Pompeii resident. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out, and everything seems normal. Life in Pompeii is vibrant and alive. Markets overflow with fresh produce, pottery, and exotic spices. Wealthy Romans enjoy luxurious baths, and the sound of laughter fills the streets. Pompeii is the place to be in ancient Italy. But what you don't know is that under your feet, something is brewing, a deadly, silent threat that no one sees coming. Mount Vesuvius has been rumbling for days. Small tremors shake the ground, but who would think that these early signs could spell disaster? The truth is, the people of Pompeii had no idea they were living on borrowed time. Imagine feeling that initial earthquake, a jolt that rattles your bones, but you don't realize it's a warning of what's to come. Maybe you're too busy to pay attention, too distracted by daily life. Here's the first reason why it sucked to live in Pompeii on the worst day: no one knew the danger. They ignored the warning signs, believing that they'd be safe, until the very moment they weren't. 2. The first sign, ash falling from the sky. Then, something changes. The air begins to grow heavy, the sun is blotted out, and tiny bits of ash begin to fall from the sky. At first, it's just a few flakes, nothing too alarming. People brush it off, thinking maybe it's a passing cloud, or dust stirred up by the wind. But the ash doesn't stop. It keeps coming, thicker, faster, until it feels like the very sky is falling on them. This was the moment the people of Pompeii realized their lives were in danger, but by then, it was too late. The first layer of ash covered everything in a thick, gray blanket. You couldn't breathe without inhaling toxic fumes. The air was thick with sulfur. Buildings started to crumble under the weight of the ash. And people? They were suffocating. So, reason number 2, the air was toxic, and there was no escape. The moment the volcano began to erupt, Pompeii's residents were trapped in a deadly haze. 3. The pyroclastic flow, the final blow. But that was just the beginning. The real devastation came from the pyroclastic flow. Think of it as a massive wall of fire, gas, and ash, racing down the side of Vesuvius at speeds of over 400 miles per hour. Temperatures reached up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to instantly incinerate anything in its path. Now, imagine you're in the middle of Pompeii. The ground shakes beneath you as a wall of fire and ash moves toward you. It's moving so fast that you have no time to escape. People were caught in the flow, suffocated by the intense heat, or burned alive in mere seconds. Reason number 3, the pyroclastic flow, was instant death. It wasn't just an eruption, it was a nightmare. Anyone who was caught in it had no chance of surviving. 4. The aftermath, Pompeii as a frozen city. Now, let's talk about what's left of Pompeii. After the eruption, the city was buried under several meters of volcanic ash. People were frozen in their final moments, trapped in the very positions they died in, like statues. Over 2,000 lives were lost that day. Archaeologists later discovered these casts, plaster replicas of the victims, their bodies having decayed but their shapes preserved in the hardened ash. It's one of the most haunting parts of Pompeii's story. You can see the expressions of fear, shock, and disbelief. The city may be gone, but the echoes of that day remain. So, why does Pompeii still matter today? It's a chilling reminder of how quickly life can change. One moment, everything is normal, and the next, it's all gone. Pompeii wasn't just a disaster, it was a moment frozen in time. So, there you have it, the story of Pompeii's worst day. Why did it suck to live there? Simple. No warning. No escape. No time to prepare. But if there's one thing we can take from this ancient disaster, it's that life is fragile, and we should never take it for granted. If you found this story as chilling as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more epic historical deep dives. And hey, what would you do if you were in Pompeii that day? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.